I work for a business called Quirk. It's a marketing agency. We have almost 200 people in 3 cities, Cape Town, Joburg, and London. And HR is absolutely critical to us. You know, being an agency, we sell people, and we, spend a lot of time crafting ways in which we can engage our people and make them brand advocates and business advocates to the rest of the market. Acquisition of talent. So we're a marketing agency born digital. Trying to acquire digital talent in this country is nigh on impossible. So brand love and brand acknowledgement in the market is critical for us acquiring that. Without it, we're just not going to be able to deliver. So this is my agenda: the war, social media tools, a case study, eating our own dog food. That's a very famous management consultant, if you've never heard that term, called Tom Peters. You've got to eat your own dog food. You've got to use the products that you sell to other people. And then some takeaways, like a toolbox that you guys can take away and hopefully implement. So the paradox. So we sit in this world, this is the war, right? So I'm setting the context. We live in a world that's very paradoxical. You know, in this country, there's 25% unemployment, and that's the official rate of unemployment. It goes a lot higher than that. We have some real endemic problems here that are not going to be solved, what I'm going to talk about today. But at the other end of the spectrum, we have this exceptional talent that can hold us to ransom. Yeah? And so the war on talent's about making sure we acquire the very, very best people, because quite frankly, they get to choose where they go. But here's how social media fits in. 45% of companies use Twitter to find talent, 80% of LinkedIn, and 50% on Facebook. The stats go on. 89% of HR departments are going to use social media to attract talent. This is up 6% last year. It should be 100%. 92% of hiring managers, so this is HR, are using these platforms in that order. I mean, the stats are quite significant. I'm going to get onto some South African stats in a minute. So what is this stuff? Social media is this kind of stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. If Facebook were a country, it'd be the 3rd largest country in the world. You know, you've heard that stat. It's a little bit disingenuous because it doesn't have, you know, the private property rights and an army and a postal system and all that kind of stuff. But it sounds cool for social media douchebags like me to sit up and go, wow, there we go. YouTube is on there too. YouTube is social media, guys. No one really understands this. There's more content uploaded to YouTube every 60 days than the entire broadcasting history of 60 years. Okay, so let's have a look at this. There's a very human aspect to social media. And by the way, social media is not about the internet, and it's not about technology. It's about humanness. It's about socialization. 70% of South Africans are online. Cool. Our talent's online. The super talent is almost certainly online on all the different gadgets and devices. Cool, we understand that. A parallel to the globe, if Facebook were a city, it'd be the 3rd largest city. 6 million people on Facebook and growing. So, but for you guys, it's mostly about this thing called LinkedIn. There's 100 million registered users. There's about 70 million active users. I'm going to give you some South African stats in a minute. For you guys not to be on this in the form of your company and as thought leaders in your business is a crime. You've got to be there. If you want to attract the top talent, you've got to be there. I'm sorry. There is just no way, and I challenge you to rebut me and attack me at the end of this, or now if you like, but you've got to be on this platform. Right, these are the South African stats. I've also pulled them up a bit for you. These are the monthly stats. There's 12.5 million visits a year. Now let's put this in context. South Africa has 6 million people on broadband internet in this country, and we have 12 million people that have experienced the internet in some way, likely on their mobile phones. Okay. So if we look at this, there's a big chunk of people in our population hitting LinkedIn, right? So this is proof that you've got to be there. If you go and have a look at this, this is actually, in the digital world, this is an amazing stat. The page visits per month per person is almost 20. This is what we call it, you know, this is a mixture of time spent on site and dwell time and all that kind of stuff. These are key metrics for digital advertisers. And this stat is ginormous. Okay? If you get one or two page visits per unique visitor, you're doing really well. These guys are getting 20. in South Africa. I'm going to give you a case study which is about Quirk, right? So we actually do this stuff. It was interesting. We got our HR director here, Janine, just wave Janine, and we were chatting throughout the day, and we're quite liking this concept of the nexus of marketing and HR. And I was saying to her, and we were kind of chatting, you're from Next Fiscus, she's going to have both those portfolios. But we kind of do this already. Sorry, spit's coming out of my mouth. That's disgusting. So I'll give you a case study about us. Eating our own dog food. We sell this stuff to customers, therefore we should do it ourselves, and we do. This is our talent manager, works for Janine. Ravi, how you doing, Ravi? Roughly 25% of the people that we interviewed this financial year have come from social media in some way, shape, or form. Okay? And of those, we've hired almost half. Think about the savings. Are there any recruiters here? Okay, sorry guys. Think about the savings in not using recruiters. You guys are expensive but worth it. But clearly if I can save money here, they immediately irritated with me. So this is big savings, guys. This is, we're paying, I don't know what you guys charge. You guys are the premium end, but we pay between 10 and 15% of the annual salary. And if you do the math on that, we've hired probably 60 people this year. If you start unpacking the math there, we've saved a shed load of money. Okay, we've also got this newsletter we send out. Rob there is my boss. He's the group CEO and founder. We've got 6 companies. He started this thing. This is 6 years old now. We've been sending this newsletter. Return on investment, huge. It's social because people can leave comments on the content we have there. Now, we have 16,000 registered users on this thing. 16,000 people who have said, hey, I want to read your content. So you need good content, obviously. You can't just have an email thing, right? Fantastic return on investment. That red stuff on the side there, that's our advertising for jobs. So if any of you want a job, there you go. We're looking for a lot. And we get a hell of a lot of leads. So the stat that Ravi gave actually doesn't include our newsletter lead generation. So we create and curate this value, and we deliver this content into people's mailboxes for free. And in return, we say, hey, check out our jobs. Send it on to other people. Fantastic return on investment. Email marketing is so underrated. And if you've got good content, share it. It's a great way to acquire. This is our Facebook page. So we're constantly telling the world on Facebook the good things that we do. We sometimes get some tough questions, and we're very candid about that, very transparent. I'll get to that in a minute. But mostly we're telling people, the fun journey we're taking. And so people outside of Quirk are very interested to see that. They want that. And people inside Quirk are very proud. They wear it as a badge. Yeah? I work for Quirk in the digital space is actually quite a cool thing. We do it on Twitter. Here we make sure we give quite a bit of value. It's important to note here that we don't punt our services. We don't say, hey, we sell this. We have conversations with them about cool stuff. We offer them value. We give them interesting articles. We also do it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's got an Uber section to it, which I haven't really explored, other than the fact that you can create almost your own website for talent acquisition on it, and you can get access to every single person in the LinkedIn environment. Okay? Without that, you need to be referred or you need to have known them, what have you. So quite a valuable tool. Social media dangers. So this is very, very important. And I tell you what, I sit with so many clients where they say, listen, I just don't want to be that exposed. I don't have the resource. The risks are too high. I don't want to be having those conversations in public. Well, guess what? They're going to happen whether you're there or not. Yeah? I was chatting to a big brand in Durban the other day, and they're saying, no way, I'm not going to do that. That's just going to open us up to a whole bunch of unnecessary complaints and stuff. And so I did a search, and not very difficult, and I brought up a whole bunch of complaints, a whole bunch of conversations that people were having about that brand. How does that affect your talent acquisition? I sure as shit wouldn't want to work for someone that for a brand that everyone hated, right? But the reality is you no longer own your brand. Whereas in the past, you'd have a PR department that would craft a message, and the bigger the budget you had, the more on message you could make everybody on your message, right? Now these conversations are happening. That was one-way communication. It was broadcast. Now it's multicast and it's conversational. Yeah, it's going to and fro. These people are going to have conversations about your brand. And the worst thing to do is ignore them. The second worst thing is to hop online and refute them. You need to embrace them. You need to be able to have these difficult conversations, and you'll be surprised at how much people love brands for that. So what do we need to do? So just being online and being on social media is not good enough. I have to have a message that's relevant and that's cool. And there's a whole bunch of ways to do that. You can employ companies like Quirk to tell you how to do that. That was funny, guys. Come on. Wow. And there's many ways to do that. You know, finding a niche and owning that space and associating your brand to it, you can become a thought leader as a brand on that particular issue. Ours is digital marketing. Could be anything. Best employers, CRF, it's about being the best employer. People look to this brand as a talisman of that particular niche. Own it. Be a thought leader in it. Anyway, there's many strategies to do that. But the reality is just being in the space is not good enough. There's too much. You can't duplicate. You can't take what some other company is doing and cut and paste. That's not going to work. It's not authentic. Okay? What we do, we make a lot of money monitoring and measuring and curating social media channels for brands. We make a lot of money, and we should make more money. But we strongly recommend that we only caretake that in the short term. A brand has to own its social media, because you need people that eat, live, breathe, and sleep your brand. They are personifications of your brand. And it's only those personifications that are going to allow you to attract the top talent. We know at Quirk that people look for our thought leaders that are talking about Quirk in a great light. You've got to wear your heart on your sleeve. You've got to be real. Yeah. The biggest social media faux pas have been when brands and companies go out there and try and be something that they're not. They're infallible. They are perfect in every single way. And what it exudes is absolute falseness. Is that a word? False. The being of false. Jeez, it's been a long day. But this is important. As soon as they get a sniff of that, and this is about not underestimating the community, especially top talent, because they're super smart. As soon as they get a sniff of that, you're finished. You know, digital is highly promiscuous. If you stuff it up, I'm gone. One click and I'm gone. And it's very hard to get it back. So you've got to be careful of that. And this word's come up a little bit today. It's about love. Yeah. Very, very important in this day and age. In my view, you have to sell love in your product, through your product. And you can't do that without actually feeling love at some level. Sam was calling me a capitalist hippie because I used the word love. But I also made a reference earlier on that I don't do the romantic stuff, right? So there's this dichotomy in me. Forget the romance, I think that's quite overrated. But loving what you do, loving the people you work with, that's how you change the world. You need to be able to show that on social media.
This video was developed by the CRF Institute